Hello Lex players and welcome to my new video. If you're new here, hi, I'm Lex and today I am going to create a transition area as well as a smaller filler space. That's just where Lorien is right now. Also, I feel like it's really menacing to run towards the camera. What do you think? Before we get started, I also wanted to say thank you so much to Factor for sponsoring today's video. You can check my description, use my link, or go to go.factor75.com and use code POGLEX130 for $130 off across 6 boxes. We'll get more into that in just a second, but the area I'm working in today is just beside the sunken pathway that I created. As you can see, there's just a lot of stuff here. I put all the flowers I wanted to use right here. Below is the campsite, so we're on the very western edge of my island working. As you can see, I also gathered some bushes up there. I'm really prepared today, like way more prepared than usual when I start a speed build, so I'm really proud of that. I decided first of all to extend this little pathway. The land that I'm beside, the land to my right at this moment, leads back to my character's house, my resident representative home, and I've been meaning to connect that area to the rest of my island for so long, so this was finally a good opportunity to do that. I had this big empty space here. I figured I could make, it's like a little land bridge. I didn't intend it to be that way, but that's actually what it is. So what I'm going to create here is layered waterfalls right here where I'm starting the water terraforming, and then the land bridge, and most of it is just going to be figuring out pathing. The waterfalls are honestly the easiest and my personal favorite part. I'll let you all enjoy the terraforming for a minute. Although I wasn't trying for a sunken waterfall vibe, the fact that there are cliffs in front of this waterscaped area kind of does make it seem like a sunken waterfall, so it wasn't intentional, but you know I always appreciate a good sunken waterfall moment. That is what we're gonna go with. Before we get much further, I do want to talk to you about Factor, so let's get into it. With Factor, you can have fresh, ready-made meals delivered right to your doorstep. My little sister Peaches and I really enjoy them because there's no prep, no mess. You just get to heat them up and enjoy your meal. It also takes the stress out of choosing ingredients. You have these dietitian-approved fresh ingredients already prepared for you. We also love how convenient it is to have a Factor meal. We've definitely stopped having so much takeout and fast food, which has been super helpful in our household, and it's super nice for gamers. It's quick and easy, 2 minutes or less. Get it between rounds of your favorite game. Remember to use my link or go to go.factor75.com and use code POGLEX130 for $130 off across 6 boxes. Once you click, my description will live update to count up the purchases, so check that out. Everything you need is in the description below, and thank you again to Factor for sponsoring today. For this entire build, I was low-key shocked at how easy it was to decorate when I'd actually already selected items and plants to go in this area. It was helpful because I actually built this area up a while ago, a few weeks probably, just because I was testing out waterfalls. I was trying to figure out what kind of vibe I wanted over here, so I actually had to destroy some waterfalls before I started building this, and now I'm like, maybe those significantly helped me. Maybe I should start building all of my builds in advance and just tearing them down, but then you all wouldn't get the incredible chaos that is me trying to figure out how to fill a space. So Maybe not, but I did think it was pretty cool to actually have a plan for once, and it went so smoothly. This was probably the quickest I've ever built something. Altogether, both this waterfall area and the pathing that I was talking about, connecting the sunken pathway all the way back to my resident representative house, all of it took me pretty much evenly an hour. It was like an hour and 5 minutes or something like that. Can you believe that? That is a really quick build time, even for me. Now I'm starting the pathing. This was probably the most tedious part of the build, just because it's really not easy to do custom pathing. It's not something that you can do quickly with just the terraforming, the island designer, that's what it's called. It's kind of a mess. I wish there was a smoother way to incorporate the pathing without having to constantly switch which one I was on. Um, but I did get it done. I ended up having to download a new portion of the path in order to finish it. But look how good it looks. We love to see it. And then I was originally considering alternating between this worn dirt path and a brick path, like going back and forth between them until I got to my house. But I was like, you know what, we're just gonna make the dirt path work. So I split it up a little bit so that it wouldn't get monotonous, so that it wouldn't look like one straight line. But I did use the same custom path for this entire build. So that was also a little different for me, but I think it turned out, it turned out pretty. One of my main goals for this build was to only use the plants that I had already grown. I did end up having to get some shrubs and flowers out of storage, but I was honestly just surprised that I managed to work this out at all because Nook's Cranny wasn't open. It was obviously near sunrise, so I was pretty much just dependent on my personal storage to get me through this build, and it worked. I stretched my trees, my little saplings, as far as they would go. I used pretty much all of the white and yellow flower seeds that I had left, and we got this done. I am glad that I added in some green flowers. I have been trying not to just because I didn't use them in the other surrounding builds, but I honestly think they match the vibe. My island has a lot of green as it is, so I don't think they're super noticeable as being out of character for this build. They actually do fit in. I also decided to do 2 back-to-back storefronts here to create a mini building behind the campsite for a view. You actually can't see it very well from the campsite. Like, I went and visited the campsite later, like after I finished the build, just to see what it looks like, and you can't really see it, but I know it's there, and that's enough for me. Look, it's like a little storage place or a little market. Just a tiny little shop overlooking the bus stop at the campground. I'm happy with it, whatever the case. Another challenge, I think, in this build, aside from filling empty space, was adding height to this area, to the land bridge. I obviously added these drop flowers and everything, but the land feeling flat really got to me, so that was probably the most challenging thing, aside from pathing. That is actually the build completed. So if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Drop your least favorite villager in the comments, and drop a like too, just because you know you've been here the whole time, you might as well. Here is the pathing winding through this area. Here are the waterfalls. I'm so happy with how everything came out, I'm not even gonna lie. Every time I walk through my island, it's always bothered me that the path from my house didn't connect to anything, but now it goes right into my sunken pathway. Everything is connected, everything is feeling complete, and the island is that much closer to being finished. This is an island that I've already released the dream address for, so the dream address does exist, but it isn't updated. Also, this build did not look good from the side, but I wanted you to see the water. Thank you again for watching through the entire video. Remember to check out the description to click the link, check out Factor. Thank you again to Factor for sponsoring the video, and I'll see you all in the next one. For now, bye!